You all ready to join me today in our trip to outer space?
Yeah.
Albert Shivers.
The Matrix doesn't have him.
That's very true.
Come along quietly or not.
Goodbye, Whips.
As I was about to try to bribe
From Albert
the
Shivers.
mistress of the fading light.
They don't have to like it.
They're trying to put a caravan.
The general concept is that creativity flourishes in an atmosphere of freedom.
Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Planet Shivers podcast. I am Albert Shivers, and this is going to be an exciting and different episode. We're joined once again by the right hand of the podcast. Isaac is back, and together we have on a friend of ours, James, and somebody new for the podcast, Justine. Recently, James took a trip to South Africa, and Justine is from there. And it was the idea of our friend James to do a little compare and contrast podcast about both of their experiences, one a visitor, one a resident. So I hope you enjoy this episode. The four of us are seated outside, so you'll hear all those fun extra noises that I like to include in these podcasts. The atmosphere to me is just as important as the conversation. Whether it's sitting around the kitchen table, sitting around a big dining room table, or in this case, sitting on a round table outside. So I hope you enjoy that about this episode as well. In other news, have a lot of new art pieces coming along. Please check those out on my Instagram at Albert Shivers. I'm actually going to be working on a funny commission that I'll have to tell you guys more about in the next episode once I nail everything down and things are more sure. I also have a few mural projects that are going to be coming along. A large one and a smaller one. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to getting into that world. I've been fighting to get into it, to do something to let the world know that I'm over here making a lot of art. And this podcast is one of those things. So don't forget, you could find all these episodes and future episodes on all major podcast platforms and YouTube with some video. You could see more of what I'm doing with the podcast and with the visual art, again, on Instagram at Albert Shivers or at www.albertshivers.com and on the Albert Shivers YouTube channel. If you know my name, you'll be able to find everything. So it shouldn't be too hard. I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed sort of sitting back and letting it take its course, which was a new role for me, to just sort of hand the reins over to other folks and let them talk. I chime in when I feel like I have something to contribute, but otherwise, this is their podcast, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you to Isaac, James, and Justine for coming on and being willing to talk. And I'll catch you guys on the other side.
This is Brooklyn's own station. WBBC, Brooklyn, New York.
The Stop and Shop bitch. She can have her fucking Barilla pastina. I found the Ronzoni pastina at a store. I'm not saying the name of the store. I'm not saying where it is. The only reason I'm making this video is because I want that bitch to see.
Ronzoni, so good it's New York's #1 pasta.
I'm probably gonna have to call somebody now and spend a fortune putting up an electrocution fence.
On a new Dodge car, truck, or van is right on Staten Island at Aunt Julie Dodge. See the most complete selection of Dodge Caravans, custom vans, pickup trucks, and Dodge work vans in stock. Enjoy spectacular savings on the luxurious Dynasty, the sporty Daytona, and the Dodge Omni America, starting as low as $59.95. The greatest selection, the best service, and the guaranteed lowest prices are on Staten Island at 340 Bay Street, Aunt Julie Dodge.
Folks, welcome to another episode of the Planet Shivers podcast. I am, as I've always been, Albert Shivers, and I am going to throw it over to a friend of the podcast and a friend of us all, who will be going away on a big voyage and a big adventure tomorrow that he's going to talk about more. James Stokes, thanks for finally being on the show. I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you very much, Albert. It's a pleasure. It has been a while, actually, since I've been around. But yes, as Albert had mentioned, I am going on a bit of a trip. I am a truck driver now for my future career, so I'm actually headed out from PA on a bit of a voyage out to Wisconsin, middle of nowhere. That'll be a bit of a journey for myself, about 15, 16 hours or so. So that'll be fun. And we are actually here to discuss my former trip that I just took, about a year, almost a year now, to South Africa with a very special guest of Isaac, Mr. Isaac Wilson.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got pod brother Isaac, Sam,
Going on.
and another new person, Justine, is here too.
Hello, Justine.
Justine, would you like to introduce yourself?
Very good.
So James recently took, not all too long ago, you took a trip to South Africa.
Yes, I did.
And Justine, you're also from South Africa. So we're going to do some compare notes based on some ideas by James here. So I'm going to give you the reins. And yeah, whatever you want to talk about,
all right.
Let's go.
All right, fair enough. So, first and foremost, going to South Africa, I flew from Newark all the way out from Newark to Joburg, that is Johannesburg. It was about a 24-hour flight. We did a stop, I believe, in Tel Aviv, a flight in Tel Aviv, and also the corner of Africa, the state itself, or not the state, the province, I'm sorry, the province itself, right there, to Ethiopia, and then from Ethiopia down to Johannesburg. And during that time, it was my first time doing an international flight, and let me just say, or rather, hold on, well, we're about politics a little bit. Let me be clear. The flight itself was definitely a fun experience, a long experience. And the food, good. The fact that they put so many stabilizers in it, horrendous, scary, not fun. But all in all, it was long. It was fun. You got a chance to see the ocean a little bit. You got a chance to experience the people that are around you, some that went to Ghana, some that went other places. It was a good time. Just on the flight alone. Dude, I felt like that's all I did. I felt like I slept, I got up, oh, I'm up, I'm back again.
It's like what I do on a plane, yeah.
But nah, if I knew the term that I guess is a newer term now is called raw dogging, I would have tried to raw dog it as long as possible. For those of you that don't know on Mr. Shivers podcast, the term raw dogging is now where a person, they end up staring at just the map of the flight on the plane, just that for hours on end.
No snacks,
no nothing.
Sometimes
just literally,
you don't get you have a window maybe,
or you I guess yeah, if you're lucky you get a window.
Back of the headrest.
Excuse
me, stewardess, where are we?
And yeah, you'll just be staring at that till the end of your flight. That's apparently the goal. And some people are like, yeah, I did it 7 hours. Yeah, I did it 8 hours. If I knew, I would have been like, yeah, I did it about 24 hours. But hey, you do what you can. Justine, how would you like to explain your experience? Because you are from South Africa. My understanding is correct, in that you flew from South Africa to America. So first and foremost, how was your experience?
Experience fine.
With the flight?
On the flight. Yeah. We'll
Flying
start.
from South Africa to America was honestly the most terrible experience I've had. We had a layover flight, and for some reason my flight got delayed to 29-hour layover, and they lost my luggage, and the airplane food sucked. In Brazil, my luggage got lost. No idea why we needed to stop in Brazil or why the layover was in Brazil. It was not. It was supposed to be a direct flight. Got into America completely jet lagged. I could not do anything, but immediately we had to start with orientation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's never fun, that jet lag.
And my luggage only arrived like 12 days after being in America.
Jeez.
So it's not like it was gone. You
luckily,
get it back?
No, I got it back, which thank God.
It was just like a pilgrim.
So now, I've never, to be honest with you, I've never lost my luggage at an airport. Did they give it, did they mail it back to you, or did you have to go to the airport to grab it again?
No, they mailed it directly to my address. I made sure I had 10 stickers on my suitcase with my address. Because I have the worst luck, so I just knew it was going to happen, and it happened. So,
okay.
I was curious, do you guys do that cellophane thing with your luggage? Ever seen that where you just take 4 rolls and just
wrap it?
Yeah, like in a cocoon.
No.
Our uncle did that when he came here. He flew in from Johannesburg, and it was I guess it's a common thing over some airports there.
Wrapping your luggage is good, but it's not necessary if you have the locks on your luggage.
That's true.
That's true. I actually, Isaac, you had mentioned the cellophane and wrapping your luggage. I was recommended by actually your mother to wrap it in cellophane. I kind of did the daring thing, and I just said, you know what? If it's gone, it's gone. Hopefully, it'll be there. And I'm very blessed to say that when I reached Johannesburg, it was there, in pristine condition. I think I locked it. I can't remember, but it definitely was there. But I definitely did see a lot of other suitcases that were there that were wrapped up in cellophane.
Did they ask you about the destination where you went to pick up your luggage? Do you want an end destination or?
No. They just. It was a connecting flight. So, that's what it was. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's the reason why it took me so long. I had a connecting flight. It wasn't just one plane. It was 2 planes. Yeah. I took one plane from where I did to the stop. I took another plane when I was in Ethiopia that took me to Johannesburg. It was a weird little thing. We ended up, and so normally when you're on a plane in America and you go from one airport to another, you go through it that way. In this regard, from Ethiopia, we ended up hopping onto a bus, and then we went out to the runway where the planes actually were, and we got in from the runway into the plane itself, so outside, which was pretty interesting. But yes, our luggage was transferred onto the following plane automatically.
I did not have that luck.
So yeah, so it was comfort for you then, for the most part, other than.
Sorry?
So I'm saying you not going onto the runway, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had mentioned the delay, you had a 29-hour delay. What did you do in that time period?
In that time period, I started crying like a little baby, 24-year-old girl panicking in Brazil, no clue what to do. She does not speak Spanish. No one can help me. Eventually, one of the flight people that worked there, they were like, "Ma'am, can we help you?" And I explained to them the situation, and they were like, "Okay, next flight to America, we will put you on this flight, but sorry about your luggage. We will try our best to locate it and send it to you." And immediately the United got in contact with me via email to let me know and keep me updated about the luggage. They could not find the luggage at first, but eventually they did. So they did a really good job keeping me in the loop about what is going on with my luggage. But the layover was minimum to 5 hours that I was there, just chilling in the airport, because you're not allowed out the airport because you do not have a visa for Brazil.
Okay.
So yes, so luckily for this guy, seeing this little girl panicking and crying her eyes out, he jumped in, he helped, and he got me a quick flight. And
Okay.
Day saved. Yeah.
Agreed. So that was that initial part. Okay, so I guess this would be for both of us. What was your initial shock, or what was your whoa, I'm actually here in America, first, and then I guess I'll say my whoa, I'm actually here in Johannesburg shock factor.
The cars are gigantic. I was like, what is going on? Why is everything so big? The food is big, the cars are big, the roads are big. The toilet flush handle is on the opposite side of ours. I think that was the main thing, coming to my hotel and realizing, what is going on? Am I in a new dimension? Why? Everything was a lot different for me, and it took me some time to adapt, especially with the driving.
We're definitely
don't the toilets go the other way too?
Is that the thing?
Ours spin like this.
Spin? I've never noticed. I've never noticed. But now I will try and notice.
I got you. So for me, when I officially landed, I was exhausted. I was like, the one thing I need to do is go to sleep.
The the cars are so small.
Yeah, there was that. There was that, and then I didn't have when I landed. I didn't have any way to contact my friend really because I didn't have the newer SIM. And when I landed, everything was closed. In the airport, everything was closed. I landed. I think it was like early in the morning or like at the end of the night. One of the two. It was still dark outside. When I landed and I arrived, I was like, oh snap. Okay, I'm here now. How do I contact my friend? That was the first thing because I told him I was like, hey, I'm gonna be here around this time, etc.
Your friend Al.
My friend Alfred. Yeah, Alfred Malengo.
Okay.
In South Africa, Wi-Fi is not everywhere available like it is in America, where you can connect. So I understand the struggle of that.
Yeah. So the panic factor, the shock factor was that right then and there, and then I was just like scrambling around trying to talk to this employee, this janitor, this person. Can I borrow your phone? Can I borrow your phone? Can I borrow your phone? Just to get in contact with my friend to get to let him know. When I was finally able to reach him and everything, we were able to link up in the airport. And the very first thing we did, we ended up getting a coffee. I already transferred a majority of my American USD into the South African Rand, which at the time the value was 1 USD for about 18.86 Rand. So give or take about a 20 there, give or take. Excuse me, that was the first thing that we did. After that, he finally picked me up. And we just drove around. He picked me. Oh no, it was actually night into morning. That's what it was, like bright early in the morning. Everything was closed. When we finally left the airport, we drove around. He showed me Pretoria for the start. Like we saw Pretoria. We saw the caged up due to the government European statues. That apparently there was a riot at one point.
I don't have knowledge about that.
Okay. Well, apparently my friend Alfred had told me that there was a riot at one point in regards to getting those statues removed because they're not of African people or of African descent. It was more of the Europeans. But I guess the government agreed and said, hey, no, we're going to keep it. It's a part of our history. Similar to how we had a revolt with Christopher Columbus and stuff like that down in, I think it was South Carolina, the riots down there at one point.
Oh, yeah, with the statue, you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Then with Columbus, man. Yeah. Somewhere.
Also, too, while walking around just in Pretoria alone, the roads weren't that bad. Driving itself was different. Definitely a shock factor. You saw kilometers. So in America, when you see a stop sign, it's more rectangular. When you go out to Africa, well, not a stop sign.
Octagonal?
Yeah, no, like the speed limit signs, they're more rectangular. When you go to Africa, the kilometer signs, they're white and they're circular. So it was entirely different.
And you're left side of the road, right?
It is the left side of the road that you start on to drive.
That always freaks me out, you know.
I can agree, Isaac. I was too afraid to drive myself.
Was it weird? Did you think I'm in an oncoming lane?
I mean, as a passenger, no, it was fine. I mean, it took a second to get used to.
Yeah.
For me, it was like that coming to America and driving in a car. Every car that's on the opposite, the left or right hand side that was coming towards me, I was thinking was in my lane, and I would panic a bit. But then as it got closer, I would realize, okay, no, you're fine. Everything's fine. This is just how it goes.
Yeah, no. For me, if I was there a little bit longer, I think I would have been perfectly fine going behind the wheel. But at the time, I was like, I need to let the professionals drive here because I'm not too good with that. And plus, the cars were standard. And as for myself, I've only ever driven automatic, so I had no knowledge of how to drive a standard.
Except for trucks. Well, that
was later. I didn't drive.
Fresh,
I didn't drive a truck until almost a year later, Isaac.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking at the future.
I understand.
We're reflecting on the past. They're good. Other than that, though, I mean, like that was just the start of it for me. The experience not overall. The experience on the following days, where I went to go visit the local malls, the local shops, even the local McDonald's. It was just different in general. They have a ginger drink there, like a ginger soda. You know the name. I'm blanking on it.
Stoney's ginger ale.
Yes.
Stoney's ginger ale.
Stoney's ginger ale. If I can tell you guys anything, if you're in Africa, that's the ginger ale you need.
Did you try cream soda?
I love cream soda.
Oh, that's the best thing ever.
Cream soda is good too. But I'll tell you though, Stoney's ginger ale. If you're a ginger ale fan, Canada Dry, Seagram's, whatever, that don't compare. You gotta get Stoney's. Get that flown to you. I'm telling you, it's worth it, man. It is strong. It is just straight ginger. If that's your thing, that is your thing. Just the food in general too was good. The food was different. I have not a list, but I have a note of it and stuff on my phone. The portions were a lot smaller than American portion size. Justine had mentioned too. The majority of people in Africa, they eat smaller portions. They have a couple more meals depending upon where you're at, location-wise. I had a couple English breakfasts while I was out there. But primarily, I stuck with the traditional African diets of pup and chicken. Pup, for you guys that don't know, it's like corn maize that you mix up and turn it into like a sticky porridge. More like similar to a cream of wheat consistency, but it's not cream of wheat because that's more greeny.
It's cornmeal-ish.
Yeah, it's more like cornmeal-ish that you take and that you dip into a sauce.
Aha. Fun.
So that was very cool. Also, while I was out there, on my side, I experienced the traditions of African culture. Now, the difference that I experienced is a little bit different because I experienced more of the black side of African culture than Justine would have experienced on my side, because my friend, again, he was primarily from the hood of Africa, like Sashanguve or Witabank, and from where I was, like when I traveled around, and we also went to other places like Grasscope and a couple other places where I went skydiving and so on and so forth. Did a couple fun things, but primarily there, majority of the people of color would stick with each other. There wouldn't be any mingling of people in a group. However, if you went to a mall or if you went to a convenience store, you would probably see different races or different colors. But again, they would typically stick with each other. So the white people would stick with the white people, the colored and or black people would stick with themselves. The primary language there would be Zulu, Swati, Xhosa, thank you. No, it's Xhosa. Yeah, Xhosa. Those would typically be the primary language. There's a bunch of other ones too that I learned I can't pronounce for the life of me. I'm not that fluent.
Like click and stuff.
Yeah, it was like that.
That's that.
Yeah,
Xhosa.
Yeah. Those languages in and of themselves were just fun to pronounce, fun to say. I learned a couple words out there. The one that sticks out the most is Gungunyana, which is actually Zulu. It means the man, and that was by far a fun experience for just the language in and of itself. The culture, you're looking at, it's either Muslim or Christianity or Catholic of sorts, or like there were a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses out there. We actually encountered some. Not like, ooh, like I caught a Pokemon or nothing. That's why I was, joking around, encountered some. But yeah, there were two people out there, one from New England and one from New Zealand, actually, that went out, that spoke for Jehovah's Witness. That was pretty cool talking to them. I think the funniest part when I was out there and I was traveling with my friends, Alfred Malengo and Masuswa. Well, no, Alfred Masuswa and Malengo and my other buddy, McGinney. When we traveled out to the convenience store, we ended up bumping into them for Jehovah's Witness. And when we did, they're like, "Oh, look at the Americans." And I looked at them and I was like, "They're not American." He's like, "Oh, watch." So we made a little bet. And the second that they opened their mouths, I was like, "Nope." One ended up being again from New Zealand, and then the other one was from New England. And I knew that right off the bat. It was funny because they differentiated like myself as, "Oh, James, go find your kind. Look, they're right there." So that was kind of funny.
And you said, that they're hired from, like, American Christians are hired through the Jehovah's Witness program?
I would not know that. That would be more Justine.
I think so. So we also encountered one of them while chilling at our local park. These heavy suited up boys would come the park is separated in tables, so everyone is chilling at their table, doing their own thing, and then they would just walk from table to table and try and what's the word?
Sell.
No, not sell. When
confront.
No, when you are Jewish, now you want to
convert.
Convert.
Right.
Try and convert people to join their religion. Sounded very American, but we did some research about that, or we asked them about it and why, and they said that their church recruit people, high Christian people from American churches to come to South Africa to spread the word of God and open people's eyes a bit more. Because the accent is much stronger, people take them a lot more serious. And I think that is all that we got from out of them, if I remember correctly. I cannot remember the full conversation we had. Because us as silly goofers, we would joke around, make jokes. Yes, that's all I can say.
Okay. So I feel like I've been talking the majority of the podcast. Justine, would you like to speak a little bit on your experience coming to America and what you've experienced so far? Take your
I feel
time.
a lot of pressure is put on me.
No, take your time.
That's just James.
Just
That's
think.
okay.
Just think of some things that come to your head that you think are really cool.
From America?
Yeah.
Oh, really cool?
Yeah.
So before this trip to the States, had you been here before?
No, never. This was my first international flight. First time coming to America. Trains was also my first riding a train. It was very cool at the airport coming here, and you could just go on in the airport. You go to the subway, and I think subway, and it would take you to the destination you need to be to get the shuttle bus to take you to the hotel, which was quite convenient and easy. Made feeling lost a bit less. You do not feel as lost as you would have in South Africa, like he did with not being able to contact anyone, also the Wi-Fi. Here you automatically connect to the airport's Wi-Fi, and you could easily get in contact with the people you need to, which is very, very much easier. I think America is a lot convenient, I would say is the word. Yeah. I don't know what busy.
User friendly. Yeah.
User friendly. Yeah, that's a good word to use.
Big dopey red blue signs everywhere.
But also it's very big of the foreigners that come to America, which was a big wow to me, because it is not just Mexicans, it's Chinese, it is Russian people that I've encountered. What else? There's a really big culture
It's diverse.
That is the word?
Yeah, it's like here, like Poconos is a big melting pot of different, peoples and cultures coming together.
Yeah. So in a way, it's the same as South Africa. We also have a lot of different cultures put together, but in South Africa, it would be mainly different black or colored cultures, where white culture would stay the same and white culture would be white culture. Only that, it's only the Boer folk, and then the black or the coloreds would be separated into, let's say, 3 or 5 different culture types. Yeah, I think.
You said Boone or something?
Boer.
What's that?
Farmer.
Oh, okay.
Being a farmer is a culture in South Africa. It's a very, you are the white man. Yeah.
I think it's like that here. You could say that. Like, legitimate farmers are like kind of like...
Yeah, it's pretty uniform throughout.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
working the land.
That's fair.
Like, there's a lot of fake farmers, or like, I don't want to call a gardener a fake farmer, but like, it's different having a garden versus like, there's a lot of people who have legitimate farms, and I feel like those farmers are all very alike, where anybody can really have a garden. There's farmers are, they're
There's so much land to farm, so it's like, yeah, I mean, there are subcultures, I guess, of different types you could encounter. But yeah.
But that is, I think, why American farmers get South African farmers to come and work for them, because we are the white man. Get it? With our culture being, we are the farmers, we are the Boer, we are the white culture. Now, like you said, it's similar for you, fake farmers and such. So then they get the actual hardworking farmers from South Africa to come to America and work under them.
Yeah, I mean, if you've
There's really
done
a
it for
lot.
centuries, with like zero change to the, the operation, so to speak. Yeah, nah, makes sense.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to put in?
No.
Not on top of your mind?
No,
All
nothing
right,
on
so
top of my mind.
Well, I have one more question.
Go for it.
Was there anything in all your years in South Africa that you had seen either in print or on the screen of America that when you finally came here, you seen in person?
New
And it
York-
could be anything.
New York City, I would
Okay.
say.
What was your impressions on that?
It's not
Having
at all
heard
as
and seen about it all those years and then seeing it.
it is not at all. New York is the construction. They do not show the construction on
Right.
the movies and
That's
stuff.
true.
And then you get into New York, and it's just everywhere they're busy building, and it's dirty and it stinks, and the air, the air is so terrible, so busy, so many people. Movies, yes, they show the busyness and the many people, but they don't go into detail with Spider-Man's office. Like, I think the rich. What do you call?
The half of us from New York don't seem as to recognize as much as Isaac does.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about. The Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's offices.
Well, I'm saying, like, I guess
cubicles.
That's
No, it has a name. I took a picture
It's
of
like an
it.
attraction or something, right?
No, yeah, it's
I don't know.
I think.
I've never been there, but
when you get there, it's just construction all around.
it's a big smelly apple. Yeah.
So when you said Spider-Man offices?
Yeah.
Is that a particular
Spider-Man,
building you mean?
the movie Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
Well, before he turns into Spider-Man, he's a reception journalist
No,
or
that's
something.
is that Superman or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
think
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't even know.
He's a photographer.
Okay, I'm out of the loop with that. Yeah.
Then I think I'm confused. I think it's Superman's offices then. I get me.
News reporter?
Something. So
Superman
many.
was a news reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
They're all from
I
New
thought
York.
building
I
has
think
like.
I remember him in a suit with glasses working in an office, I figured.
That's true. I mean, could be.
Wow.
But you see
Are you
those
talking about the
literal-
Daily Globe or something like that? Like, I mean, that's Superman.
Okay.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, no.
He's obviously
The Rich Times?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what the building would be.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, they have
New York
those.
Post?
So when you came here, you got to see that, whatever the building is, you got to see that particular building?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
and it was not at all because it's so ugly with the construction here and there. You only see the big, beautiful name of the building, and you know immediately, okay, Spider-Man or Superman. This is where it was filmed. But then you look around, and everything else is just so gross.
Do you see the tiny green lady on the water with the pan?
Mickey Mouse almost kidnapped me.
For real?
We had like a little tour, and the lady that ran the tour did not warn us about these guys that trick you into taking pictures, and then after telling you, okay, now you owe us $20, and they do not let you go. So we were not warned about this. And silly old me walks around Times Square, and Mickey Mouse goes, "Can I kiss your hand, madam?" And I go, "Sure." And he grabs me, and now I'm panicking and talking in Afrikaans, and he goes, "Oh shit, she's Russian, let go." And I ran like.
Mickey Mouse isn't supposed to do that.
No, that was not the real Mickey.
Yeah.
The cosplay is cool though.
Right.
All right. So I guess the most I could say that I went to that would be around New York City was like the Mandela Square. I went out there, which was actually quite fun. It's a big old statue of Nelson Mandela. There's a couple of them around, but there was a big old statue of Nelson Mandela. There was a big old statue of Dior, a clothing brand that had a big old Christmas tree on it. And also around there as well, it's Trump's grill. Coincidentally, Donald Trump has a grill out there in South Africa. So there is definitely different places to go to. That was one of them. That was a really fun sight to see. And to get there, we ended up taking the How train, which is one of the most popular.
How train.
Thank you.
Not how train.
Wait.
How.
Okay. The How. Did I get it? The How train.
How.
I butchered it too much.
You have to do the sound.
The How train.
How.
How train.
Do it with the R roll.
I'm not doing it with the R roll.
Okay.
But thank you though. So we ended up taking the How train. There we go. Which by far was definitely a fun experience to take, to get.
And you know that is the only train that runs in South Africa. That is a passenger train that runs in South Africa. Any other trains in South Africa are to transport.
Commercial. Sorry.
Commercial.
Well, yeah, like goods, right?
Yeah, to transport
yeah,
goods
like,
and such.
Yeah, like. Never mind.
You're all right.
Cargo.
Words.
You're all right. So that the other trains would be to transport goods from one corporation to another corporation, commercially.
Mainly coal, and for the mines. Yes.
Oh, that reminds me. Actually, thank you for bringing that up. I did end up visiting one of the mines because one of my friends from Africa, his neighbor is a manager at one of the mines, so I was able to go visit and actually see. I wasn't able to go inside, but I was able to see around the mines. It's a big block of black. And all the fields are clear. You ended up seeing like the little like village settlement that people live into after like they're done working at the mines. So they live right next to the mines. It's a big live-in home type situation. Like you live where you work. And as long as you work there, you live there. The contract is about, I think, 2 years that you work in the mines, and then you're able to go and do what you will. But essentially, that's the contract. That would be for the mines. There's a little shaft that you take to go down there as well. What I experienced also too was the trucks that were coming in and coming out. The weight distributions that were done through kilograms as well. As well as. What's higher than kilograms? Remind me. Measurement.
Gigagram. Is it just ton, right? Metric ton?
Yeah, it's tons.
Oh, yeah.
It's kilogram and then tons.
Thank you.
Milliliters, kilograms, tons.
Thank you. You see, I was blanking. From the milliliters to tons and kilograms as well. That whole unit was different for me compared to what we use as pounds. The metric unit that we use is entirely different.
So how many milliliters are in a ton? I mean, a kilogram or whatever.
I could not tell you.
32 ounce is not even 1 milliliter.
Really?
That I realized this week.
Yes, I don't think that's 1 liter. Wait, 30?
Yeah, 1 liter.
32 ounces?
1,000 milliliter is 1 liter. So 32 ounce is not even one full liter.
That's a quarter gallon. I think, right? Yeah.
What's that, 32 ounces?
Yeah, it's a quart.
I don't know. My water bottle is 32 ounce, and I wanted to convert it back to milliliter to know how many water intake I get. And it said 900 and something.
cc's. No. Milliliter.
The numbers are hard, man.
Right now, yes, they are.
For the time being.
It's all good. What else could I tell you guys?
900.
I experienced other things as well while I was in Africa. The other culture shock too of load shedding, which is something that we do not experience in America at all. That is where different parts of the country has their electricity turned off for a period. It could be from 2 hours to 4 hours to a day in various parts.
We live in large here.
Yeah.
It's something.
So load shedding in general, it's not, and people are like, oh, you don't have electricity for that amount of time. It's a normal thing. It's like day to day. It's essentially like if you get up and if you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, you make yourself a cup of coffee, you make yourself a cup of tea. In regards to load shedding, it could happen on a Thursday, it could happen on a Tuesday. So essentially when it does happen, you keep your stuff in the refrigerator, just let it sit there for a while, and when the electricity comes back on, you're good to go. But with load shedding though, it does turn off the traffic lights. It does turn off like the fridges, everything.
And do you know when this is going to happen?
Yes, they have a schedule.
Sometimes.
They have an app. I think the app has been created since load shedding started. The name is Eskom se push. So actually that's like an insult to our electricity company, which is called Eskom. And then a very, very bad word in South Africa is poes. So instead of poes, we say push, just to calm it down a bit, so it's not directly aimed in a wrongful way. But the app will tell you exactly which area, how many hours, when it will come back on. Yes.
I kind of wish I knew. I kind of wish I knew
Your
about that.
friends were supposed to know about that.
I guess they didn't.
They were supposed to. But the app was very out of date at the time. That only worked in certain
areas.
Yeah, it would not stay up to date with the times. It would go off and on, and I think that has very much updated over the years. It's very more accurate now than it used to be. There was a time that you could not put your faith in the app.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, again, as I said before, I did travel around everywhere I went. From Wittebank, Graskop, Sashanguve. I also went out to a couple of the villages too, and I was able to experience that type of culture, which is essentially where, like, you'll have, again, as we mentioned, farmers. They would just leave their cattle, and their cattle would go out into the forest, and they would come right back at the end of the night. You didn't have to worry about nothing. They were trained to just know, hey, this is where I need to be home. Or essentially, if you have like an outdoor cat that would come back in at the end of the night, the cat knows exactly where it's going to go. It wants to travel, wants to go experience stuff, and it knows where its home is, so it'll come right back.
Wow, I look at that.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
Yeah.
I was actually able to go in and like pet. I think I petted one of the cows. I wanted to milk one, but I couldn't. Didn't have time for it.
God damn it! Trip ruined. Fuck.
Just chilling there.
I have a couple videos I gotta show you too at some point. Also in here as well.
That's cool.
So American alcohol and African alcohol. That's a topic I've been kind of wanting to talk a little bit about. Okay, so African alcohol. I gotta say, by far, one of my favorites. It's called Flying Fish. They have a couple. If you're looking at beers, you're looking at Windhelm, I believe, or Windheim. You're looking at Castle, White Castle, or I think it's just Castle.
Yeah.
And then Black Label's a big one too.
All of them.
Windhoek, thank you.
Windhoek drauf.
But these are beers?
African beers, yeah.
Wow.
It tastes like pee. Warm pee. I hate beer.
Jesus.
This is why I do not drink beer.
Pisswassa.
No.
Even Lion. Well,
What's like the mean percentage? Like, is it around 10% or so or above? Usually, if it tastes like really bad,
I think 7.5 is the Castle. Windhoek is 25. The rest I cannot tell you.
I'm trying to zoom in right now, but my phone is making it
fancier than Bud Light. I'll tell you that.
Let me see.
Looks fancier than like a Coors or a Busch or something.
Yeah, everything is primarily a bottle,
So
but
much
it's
can-
nice all in all.
It is primarily a bottle. We do not really drink out of cans unless we buy like 1 liters. If you get them in cans and in bottles, it depends mostly.
Glass is always better. Less aluminium. Do you say aluminium?
Aluminium.
Is that an Afrikaans?
Yes.
Wow. I was wondering about that.
And what else? I did also have this drink known as Savannah. Savannah was a very popular drink
Savannah is very good.
I'm not a fan of Savannah.
Oh, the tables have turned.
Have they? I mean, I did drink it because, it was available. It was there.
With a lemon, that's very good. Savannah.
I don't think that'll convince me. I'm sorry. You tried, though. You definitely tried.
And it's liquor? Or
it's like a beer, just very lighter, more like a seltzer.
I see, yeah.
Savannah is a very, very popular beer that they advertise on everything. They're like, you have to have a Savannah.
Yeah.
Only in Savannah. It's a fun little... They have a bunch of advertisements for that type of beer. We also, a majority of the time that we drink, we just drink a lot of Bacardi. Regular or actually spiced Bacardi, which is pretty good.
Let's stop fucking around. Bust out the rum.
Bust out the good stuff, yeah. We did some local braais where we bride everything.
Everything.
Every type of meat you could think of.
Even the corn, I think is what you call it.
Yeah, where
corn.
you take corn and then you turn it. Yeah, we did corn, we did pup, we did chicken. We slaughtered fresh chicken, so we ended up.
Did you do it yourself?
Yes, I have a
chop
video
off his head and see him running in the blood.
No. I didn't see him running, but I chopped off his head and then we held him upside down.
A live chicken or
a live chicken.
Oh, you held him upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, that beats the fun of it.
See, I
like watching them run around.
No, what you do is you chop off their head and then you let them go and they panic and they run and you just see the blood squirting.
Where is it? I don't know how filtered you can make this now. And
that's right.
And then eventually it just boop, knocks over.
But I can definitely tell you though, the food is by far, even the pizza. Oh shoot, I can't have American. I mean, I can eat American pizza since I came back to it, but I'll tell you.
I mean, yeah.
I love African pizza. It's fresh.
It
by far is fresh. The cheese is fantastic.
Have you ever tried a seafood pizza?
What?
Wow.
Seafood pizza.
No, I heard you. It sounds foreign to me. Like,
oh, you did not try it while you were there?
No, that's something I must have missed.
Oh, wow.
Did I miss it for the better? Or did I miss it for the worse?
Would you like one?
What? Sorry, what does that mean? Better means it was good.
Yeah. Like, did I miss it for the better? Like, I should not have had it.
It was in his best interest.
Oh, I should have had it.
You should have had it. That's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. It depends.
I know American food is definitely full of shit your body shouldn't have to deal with. Or would you want this? Okay, sure.
So when it comes to American food, and I could definitely speak on this part. Going from America to Africa, the food portions, the amount of food that I ate while I was out there, I was being nice to my friend, and he's like, "Oh, James, are you sure? Are you hungry? Are you filled?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then when I told him, I was like, "I can by far eat more," and he looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, "No, I can actually eat a lot more food."
This is actually nourishing me.
So
did
he
you
ordered
realize it's taste difference?
Oh, yeah.
Would you say we put more spice in our food than Americans
You
do?
put more love in your food.
Yeah.
Yes, you put more love in your food. You care more passionately about your food than just saying, "Okay, here's a thing of slop, enjoy."
Emulsify.
Sorry, I'm sorry to insult anyone who likes American food, but hey, I'm just staying at home.
We all like American food.
Yeah.
You're made of
You
it,
have
James.
never tried
No, I would just say I would encourage a lot of people. It's like travel, experience the culture,
Like 0.001%
experience.
Africa,
Definitely experience different types of food that's out there, because you'll taste everything from something as simple as let's say chicken. You're used to eating chicken all the time, but then you go to KFC. Just KFC here. Funny enough, KFC in America. And I know that Cardi B has talked about KFC in other countries. She's like, "Oh, KFC in other countries is fantastic." KFC in Africa, oh, bro, they brought chicken, black chicken, black people, black chicken. Yeah, there you go. That's it. You're right there. Excellent.
Did you try the dunked?
Huh?
Did you try the dunked wings, dunked burger in KFC?
She's
our
talking about
KFC.
the sauce. We looked for it in the Stratford
I made him
KFC. They
take
didn't
me.
have it, but apparently it's really good.
It's very good. It's like this black, dark brownish sauce.
Maybe I gotta check. I have everything. I have everything in my life on this thing right here.
Okay. But it's like a spicy, sweet sensation.
Probably.
Dark brown sauce,
It's like,
spicy,
it's
sweet.
like a sweet baby grape. Yeah, okay, like a Jägermeister. Yeah.
James, you're good?
Cheers. What's a South African cheers?
Sorry,
Like,
Still cheers.
Still cheers.
Okay. Still cheers.
But yeah, so I had that. I had this thing. It was a meat pastry. It was like a meat puff. Pie. Yeah, it was like a meat pie.
Pasty.
What's crazy for me is I heard you last weekend the first time, Sam, saying, "Oh, are we getting some pies?" And I got all excited in my heart. I'm gonna have a pie, and then it was pizza. Who calls a pizza a pie?
Yeah.
What? Now my host mom told me it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh?
Pizza pie.
So what we're speaking about? It's essentially it's meat inside of a flaked pastry.
Yeah, it's like pasty, kind of.
Yes.
Kind of, but not.
Yeah, but
Okay, maybe I mean
Kind of,
generalizing.
but different.
it's by far delicious.
Does sound really good.
And you get steak and kidney, you get ground beef,
and you get spicy
chicken and
pepper.
mushroom, you get spicy pepper, you get spicy chicken, you get Cornish.
What's the one you had, James? You said mega pepper, or it was like mega steak and pepper?
Yeah, it was like mega steak and
pepper. That sounds really good. I want to try that.
No, I'm telling you, if you have the chance to, just try it. I mean, Justine here, like she's smirking and smiling, speaking about it right now. She's reminiscing.
That's the best. That's only when you're drunk, 2 a.m. in the morning. You just need a coconut pie. That's all. Happy sleeps, happy dreams, happy everything. No bubble loss, no hangover.
Wow.
Yes.
Bubble loss.
Yeah, what is that?
No hangover. Bubble loss, hangover. I just.
Okay.
Well, that's a new one. I've never heard that.
Really?
No, I've never heard of bubble loss.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just mixed my languages for a moment. My English and Afrikaans.
That's fine.
That's cool.
That's fine. Teach us something new. Teach us something new.
I'll agree.
Yeah. There's so much regulation on the foods and with the edible things here in America, and it's kind of sad there's not more people just on the side of like this road, for example, that you can just slaughter their own food and eat it, because generally it's much.
But that is
your body
what,
thanks you.
That is what the black cultures in South Africa do. They believe in whatever you slaughter, you have to eat, and you will slaughter it for good intentions. You bless the food, and it will be good for your health and your family's health and fortune.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's very like a bunch of hardcore hunters around here. It's like how they, same pretty much outlook. It just sucks because again, like you can, I don't know what the actual law is, but I think if you have raw milk and you try to bring it from PA and sell it in New Jersey, like it's like a federal, like I don't know if it's felony level, but like you get in like a lot of trouble, like thousands of dollars for. Just raw milk, stuff like that, There's like all these crazy weird laws about what you can eat and can't, which, in that respect, you guys are definitely like ahead of the curve.
Spur.
Something I would like to touch on that James has said in a previous conversation we had, when he went to South Africa and being the only white guy in a group of black people, black culture, as he said, he experienced mostly the black culture. He noticed that people would look at him funny. Why are you, white guy, hanging out with black people? And I feel like that is something that you missed completely out on going to South Africa, is you did not experience the diversity we've got about how many colored people and black people go to bars, go to clubs, go to golfing games, go to parks and just meet up together, black, white, Indian, colored. I feel like you really missed out on the fun of the cultures coming together and being themselves and being able to have the most fun drinking, playing games, learning about your culture, what you eat in the mornings. It's very big. It has changed a lot over the years because apartheid, as we know, was a big thing in our history as South Africans, but it is not as big as it was anymore. I think it died down up to 90%, if I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure. People have learned to adapt more to the differences and accepting each other. I would have loved for you to experience both sides. You would have been shocked completely.
Well, I can definitely admit during that experience that I had when I was in South Africa, I did not get a chance to see a mixture of the cultures too much. I definitely saw, and as Justine had mentioned, it was more primarily myself and my friend, and it was always the looks of, why is this white dude hanging out with this black dude? Like, that shouldn't click, especially out in Witbank.
Quick question.
Yes.
Was it mostly older people that would give you these looks? Younger people? What would be the age range you would get these
we're
looks
looking
from?
more at like from mid-20s all the way up to, I would say, about 40s to 50s.
That is very strange.
Yeah.
Because of the areas you were in is very hot spot for diversity, especially Johannesburg. It's so big there and it's so normal. I could not understand.
We were in and out of Johannesburg, so we were in different parts of Johannesburg, but we were not there for too long. But we went. Well, we were around it. Like we went to Pretoria, We went right next to Sri Lanka to go to Kruger National Park. We went all around there. That aspect.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, like a single city or place can have many different aspects to it, you know, and places and times to be and stuff like that. Like, you know,
No,
but, you know, you hung out. You hung out with Morris, right? You hung out with my uncle for a little bit there.
I did. To get to your uncle, it felt like I was going from one side of town all the way to the other
like
side
hours,
of town.
Yeah.
And it did take hours.
Because I know where
he
is. Yeah, he says he doesn't like at night. He doesn't go out much anymore, and that's changed. Like it's a shame. Like my mom couldn't like sit down at the moment and you know discuss.
Jump in.
Because it seems like your guys' perspective of it, like how I mean, it's obviously changed like a lot in the past 40.
But you still
50
cannot
years.
go out at night.
Yeah,
It is
no
very
doubt.
unsafe.
No doubt. But even like you were saying with the cages around the statues and everything, like she left there in 1984 and came to California, and I think it was her aunt, you know, like Myra's sister. They left her house, and when they came back, I was like 1 or 2, you know, around the 2000 mark, and like they show up, and like the whole neighborhood had changed drastically, and like their house was there, but they had a giant like concrete fence with like glass shards stuck in the top and barbed wire and shit in the hole. Yeah, it's definitely a very tumultuous,
It is also
charged area.
a very big culture change, I have realized. Housing here in America is very open. No one has fences. It's very rare to see a house covered in fence. Where in South Africa, every single house will have its fencing because it's more like, this is my property. You are not allowed to set foot on this area of ground I bought.
Castle type mindset. Yeah. Yeah, around here there's like a deep-rooted kind of self-policing, self-governance, which you know is, you know, you got to be asleep to believe the American dream type thing. But I mean, still, it's like kind of rooted in, you know, all the towns and, you know, everywhere pretty much around here. Yeah, of course. Like this is a pretty good area. You know, you see me. I don't really lock my car much or anything.
No one locks their cars. They keep it running. They keep the doors and the windows open while they go into your shop. Crazy. You cannot do that in South Africa. You will not have a car when you get back.
That's very true. That is very, very true.
It's wild. Yeah. I was curious. I mean, sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
you're
like
good.
touching on that
Repeat.
note, like I mean, we've all heard I've heard a lot of stories and just crazy shit that goes on there. It's like, were you like unfortunate enough to like find yourself in like a dicey situation? Like what was like
sketch?
Was anything? Yeah. Did you like any experience stick out? I was like, yeah, that was pretty fucking. Yeah, it was a little, yeah.
So I would say probably the most sketchy thing. So if you are familiar with traveling across the globe, I'm assuming some of you are, in regarding to nightlife. So I didn't experience any nightlife for the most part. The only experience of nightlife that I did experience, kind of taboo here. Let's just say.
Just get out of here.
Yeah, no. It's kind of taboo here, which is actually very common in different parts of the world. Prostitution is very common in different parts of the world, but it's not. It's frowned upon here. What the sketch part was, at least where I was and where I went to, you would literally see women lined up on the side of the street, offering themselves to various men that are around, saying,
And it is
"Hey,
very
you wanna?"
normal. You stay out of those areas if you want your life. If you love your life, you would stay out of those areas. But if you are very
adventurous
or desperate, you would go there.
Chill out, homie James.
No, that's cool. So a little bit there, like that was more of the sketch area. But again, I did experience, I did walk through it, I did experience it, and they're there from the morning to they're there from the morning to the night. They're there from every portion of the time.
Day shift, night shift.
Yeah, day shift, night shift, mid evening. Yeah, whatever you're anchoring for.
Right.
The equivalency of it, it varies, man. I mean, you can also do like they're like those are the street ones, and then there's also again like special ones if you wanted, where you can order them online. Like what do you call them? Like bridesmaids or something like.
Isn't it
mail
order?
Yeah.
Mail order.
Yeah, mail order bride, something similar to those. You can have as well. So there's definitely a very
Sounds like some
wide
research.
experience in that regard if you're for it.
But it's crazy how normal it is because it is not illegal to be on the streets and
Mhm.
offering yourself. Where
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
in
around
America,
here.
In America,
Yeah,
it's very,
you're
very
just-
frowned upon.
yes.
Except
Yes.
in
Wait.
one state.
Yeah.
Huh?
Except one
Can I
state.
guess which state?
Sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
even know. What, yeah, go for it. I
Are
don't
you
even know
sure?
what state.
California?
No, a slight bit more east, depending on.
You should know this, Mr. Mount Airy guy.
No,
you
you're
would think
lying.
it was California. That, but
Probably someplace
a
in
little bit
California.
east.
No, I cannot.
Viva.
Las Vegas. Okay,
So,
okay.
Las Vegas is in Nevada,
Yeah.
and in the state of Nevada, they have a lot looser rules. Because back when Las Vegas and those gambling towns were created, they were created by the mafia, who wanted it to just be completely free.
Oh, it's a
And
market
for them to make money
Yeah.
however they can.
Wow.
And, you know, sex sells. So,
True.
Wow.
True, yeah.
True.
You just taught me something now.
Well, I'm glad your trip was a overall safe one, James. That's good. I
Mhm.
was just curious. It's like, ooh, what shit have you seen? You know?
And again,
That's
I mean,
cool.
what I experienced out there and what I saw by far from the host family that I was with, from my friend and his family, I experienced an experience that not a typical American A would experience, and B, again, you generally felt love. It wasn't fake. It wasn't putting up a front when you were there, and the second that you left, then you got yelled at.
But if you were brought up as a white kid in South Africa, you would also not regularly experience what you have experienced going to visit. It's
That's very
very
true.
rare for a white kid to grow up in that culture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The reason being is like because of the separation, because of apartheid, or is it just
Social engineering.
social engineering?
Yes,
What?
I think I would say social engineering.
Mm.
If you were one of the less fortunate to not have white parents, but you were white, and a black family would adopt you, then it would be so great for you because you get open to a whole different diversity of cultures and things that the normal white kid would not be exposed to. So same if 360 reversed was done, like a black kid being brought up by a white family, that black kid would be white. In all of the white people's eyes, he would be the whitest black guy there is in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very crazy.
I was curious too. You mentioned the one reserve or something. I mean, did you ever get out in like the bush and stuff out there, get some nature?
Yeah, I did. No, I went to Kruger National Park, which, to be honest with you, if you are an international if you're an international tourist, it's like visiting the National Historic Museum. They'll charge you more because you're not a local.
Yeah.
And again, it's very it's very open. Like you can drive wherever you want to. It's a huge open farm or open national park where you can go wherever you want to. Certain speed limits, like let's say 25 throughout the whole park. Don't get lost. People spend days in there too, just to tour everything and every location. I did experience. I did have I did see wild beast, as well as I did eat some biltong, which for the viewers on here, it's similar to Slim Jims, but they're so much better. It's all natural.
It's like
they're long.
the divine Slim Jim.
Yeah. So if you take a Slim Jim, they're huger. They're like about the size of a sausage link, but a bit thicker than that and bigger than that.
It's like thinly sliced jerky, right? Of what?
No, it's
Can
like
you eat gazelle over there? Is that the thing?
no, they eat like elephant, rhino, stuff like that. The fun stuff.
That's biltong.
Yes, that's biltong.
Oh, wow.
Biltong is a variety of different
Yeah.
type of
Gotcha.
animal that you can eat. You can eat elephant. You can eat
Not
well,
elephant. I've never heard about elephant biltong in my life, but I've heard about crocodile, ostrich, buffalo.
You didn't go to the hood. You gotta go to the hood.
Oh my god, you get megaphone.
You were in the hood.
I was in the hood. So
But
like
no
those are protected
elephants. It's
species,
illegal
yeah.
to slaughter
Rhinos
elephants
too,
all
right?
around.
what you don't know won't kill you.
Oh my god. Homie out here eating elephant.
But I would say South African culture is very sly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Especially towards foreigners. Once they hear the accent is different, they will do anything and everything to get as much money out of you because we are so corrupt. Because we need the dollars. We need the more money to come by. Electricity, I mean. Come on, something small, not small, but something as simple as electricity. Anything they can grab out of you, they will.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of ours is like 20 of the rent, you know, so I mean,
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
One thing that I found that literally shocked me. So if you guys are familiar with a 2-liter bottle of soda, my first experience to beer was Flying Fish, and that's what I fell in love with. When I first started, and I wasn't a heavy beer drinker when I started, I had a 2-liter bottle of beer for $1 United States dollar.
Damn.
That sounds insane. To drink that, it took me when I first started about 2 to 3 hours because I'm not really that big of a drinker, and the jet lag kind of kicked in. By the end of my trip, it took me about 20 minutes. So I'll tell you, that was my favorite.
So like, what's like a lunch break? Like, what's like a meal over there? Is that 60 Rand-ish, 100 Rand will get you a sandwich or like something?
About 60 to 100 Rand could get you a sandwich. He's actually spot on. That's
kinda.
Well, it depends upon where you're going.
60 Rand would get you maybe like 6 pies.
Yeah, 6 pies. Yeah, so so you're looking like a small little lunch or something. If you're looking at about 100 to 120 Rand, you can go get something special from Burger King, McDonald's, KFC. KFC primarily is fairly cheap out there, but again, it's also cooked a lot better. The oil, they don't really. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's not.
Everything is fried in oil.
Everything
it's
is
just I think,
fresher.
Yeah, fresher.
And by fresher, it's like it doesn't sit in your stomach as bad, and it just tastes really good. It like you're happy to eat it. And it doesn't hurt you coming out.
They're probably not pumped full of antibiotics and shit.
By far. Everything is all natural there.
Yeah.
The fruits in general, like if you go to the supermarket, they're right out of the farmers, so they drive the fruits over to the farmers market right then and there. So what they plucked is what you're getting. You're not getting anything that was sprayed with herbicides, pesticides, whatever. So you eat fresh bananas, you eat fresh fruits, you eat fresh carrots.
You just have to have your own common sense to think, just rinse it off before you eat.
Yeah, that's it. Keep it simple. What else could we talk about?
Wild world.
I think we talked about quite a bit. Do we have time for it? I don't know if we have time for part 2, but...
Well, it's up to you guys. We just surpassed an hour.
Okay.
And I know we got some other stuff cooking tonight. I think we covered a lot of cool stuff. And I'd be open for another part in the future.
I'm down.
I really hope you get a South African viewing out of this because I'm going to share it to all my friends
Please
and my
do.
family, and everyone was like, "Yeah, we're going to watch that." So I was like, "Yeah."
Yep. No, we're going international on this one.
Yes.
I like that.
Oh, wait, what's...
Yes.
Sorry, what's Big Man again? The Big Man?
Gungunyana.
Dude, you should get that chromed on the grill of your truck. Plated. That'd be great.
You know, I will, and I think my next podcast with you, Albert, might just be a bit of my trucking experience, and then when I come back,
hell yeah, dude.
Definitely, James.
That'd be fun. The sights I see and the sights I experience too.
Yeah,
I'd like to tell you about that.
Cool. We'll have to talk about that. And yeah, before we go, James, I wanna wish you good luck on your travels and on your new career.
Thank you very much.
It's exciting.
What?
And we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
My father, when I was a kid, I was interested in being a trucker. And one thing he always told me that stuck with me was that when you're driving a truck, you get to see the country for free. So I hope it's enjoyable as it can be for you, and I'm sure you're going to do well at it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thank you again. I do appreciate that time.
Yeah, and thank you, Justine, for coming on and talking.
It was a pleasure.
Being so open about South Africa. Isaac, it's good to have you back.
Yes, good to be back, man.
And thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, happy trails.
And again, you could find this episode and all the other ones on all major podcast platforms and YouTube with video. Thank you again to everybody for coming on the show. And until next time, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else.